All right, here we go. Again, welcome to this course, Microsoft Azure for Absolute Beginners. This is the first course in a series of courses that will teach you to become a master in using Microsoft Azure. You'll find these courses on azureberry.com and more will appear over time. I'm Barry and I will be your instructor. I'm a software developer and architect and have been working with Azure since its beginning as a beta product in 2008. So, how does this course work? Well, first we discuss the basics, as in what is cloud computing and why should you use it? Also very important, why use Microsoft Azure instead of other cloud providers? Next, we'll discuss some of the services in Azure so that you get a good feeling about what you can do with Azure and how it works. We start with services to run, deploy, and scale your applications, and then we look at some services to store data in Azure. Also, we look at services to work with messages and events. And finally, we look at how you can monitor your applications. We'll end with a summary to bring it all together. Simple enough, right? By the end of this course, you will not be a master in Azure yet, but you will know how to work with some of the most popular services to run an app, store data, work with events and messages, and monitor an app. Throughout, I'll show demos of services in Azure like Azure App Service Web App and Cosmos DB, and I'll use some demo code to run in Azure. You can find this code in this GitHub repository to follow along. This is optional as I think you can definitely learn from this course without it. Alright, so what do you need in order to develop applications that run in Azure? The first thing is internet. Yes, many of the services have local emulators that can work offline, but to work in an efficient manner, you'll need to connect to the cloud. Also, you need a computer. This can be a Windows PC, a Mac, Linux, or anything else, as long as it can run some sort of code editor. Almost any code editor will do, as almost all of them have plugins to work with Azure. Even if they don't, you could use the command line interface to deploy and manage things in Azure if you want. I prefer to work in Microsoft Visual Studio and Visual Studio Code. And finally, you'll need an Azure subscription. You can start with a free one from aka.ms/free. This gives you Azure credits to use for free so that you can try out some stuff. Are you ready? Let's dive in.